Hello and welcome to another Bulls Blitz on Sea Red UK. I just said I'd jump in here, considering there was a bit of action last night, and Vucevic, Nikola Vucevic, has been extended by the Chicago Bulls, much to the expectations of the majority of Bulls Nation. It kind of looked like the most obvious move. It was what I expected them to do. I was kind of hoping it might be somewhere within the 18 to 19 million range per year, but it's come in at 20, which is kind of the top end of what I was kind of hoping for in my head, doing the math. It still allows a little bit of wiggle room, not a lot, but a little bit of wiggle room in regards to making the other signings and the other free agency moves that we are hoping to do, bearing in mind that there are still other extensions or signings on the cards for the Bulls within the group that is here already. It was also announced that a qualifying offer has been made for Io and for Kobe. So we will see where that goes, where that takes them. I'd say the most likely offer, likely scenario there is I would expect Io to take it. Not that I know what it is yet, but I would expect Io to take it. I would also expect Kobe to have a strong think about maybe declining it initially, testing the water, see what is out there on free agency market, what else he gets offered. Of course, with a qualifying offer having been presented, it does give the Bulls the opportunity to match it and to keep both Kobe and Io if they did decide to test the market. So back to Vooch then. It's 60 million over 3 years, and that's per Shams. The details are yet to be disclosed, so we don't know exactly how it's going to work, if there's any player option, team option, declining offer in regards to like maybe starting out at 22 million and reducing down to 18 million or something like that by the last year. I don't know if there's anything like that in there, but we'll hopefully find that out as it moves forward. It now does make him the 13th highest paid center in the league. And if you think about that for a second, 13th in the league, would you say he's the 13th best center in the league, or would you say he's better? Personally, I think he's better. I mean, he's a double-double machine. The point that I kept making and Matt kept making the whole time was that if you do get rid of Vooch, or if you do let Vooch walk, what exactly is out there that replaces him, that gives you what he gives you or more for close to what he would be willing to sign for? And the answer is nothing. I can't see anything. I've looked at it. I've worked it out. I've listened to other media sources. I've listened to podcasts. I've still yet to hear a solution to that. So in my opinion, this is the right move. It might not necessarily be a move that sits well with a lot of Bulls Nation. And from what I've seen on Twitter, it's exactly that. There are people calling for blood. There are people that are very, very unhappy about this move. But for me personally, I'm not going to go in as to why that I do or don't agree with those people. All I'm going to say to you is I can see a lot of the points that are being made. I'm not saying that this is perfect, but what I am saying is that this was the correct move. You couldn't let Vooch walk for nothing. And that was the fear that I had, that if he walked for nothing, you're kind of left in a position where, how do you fill that role? Or do you work with what you've got, which is very little, as in maybe move Dre up to the starting role on the provision that he takes his player option? And then do you try and fill in behind him? I mean, that would have been about the only way to save money and still have some sort of structure there that works, or, you know, may not work. But this was the right move. You know, he had to be re-signed. There is still the potential to move this contract. It is quite a digestible contract moving forward, and it could be something that could be moved down the line. Now, it can't be moved for the first 6 months according to the new agreement, but that being said, you're still only locked in for 6 months with this contract. It is only 20 million a year for a double-double machine, for one of the most consistent performers at that position in the league. And he is, you know, always there. He doesn't miss games. I mean, he played all 82 last season. He is a steady, productive force in that respect. I think he played 70 games the year before that, or something around that. He is definitely a trustworthy resource within the team. You're getting your rebounds and you're getting your consistency on the court. Like I say, it's the top end of acceptable. It still allows a little bit of wiggle room. Again, like I stated, not a lot. I mean, we're backed into a corner no matter what way you look at it. We've been talking about this. This has been the fear. But unfortunately, this is where we're at. We had to make this move. And by the time we've signed Io and Kobe, I think you're looking at, look, I'm not great on the old cap stuff, but I think we're looking at around about the 15 million mark to complete the roster, which at that stage will have what we're looking at as about 5, give or take, roster spots. It's not ideal. Again, the Dre decision, Andre Drummond, as I touched on already, he's our other center, our backup center. So at the 5 position, without signing Vooch, we were in dire straits, really. If Dre didn't take his player option, which that decision has to come by tonight. So hopefully we'll be hearing some more on that later on today. We'll sign Dre as well. And hopefully, he said he's happy in Chicago. He said he wants to play in Chicago. Is it lip service? Is it not? Is Dre someone you want to see stay with the Bulls? Personally, I like the guy. I like what he brings. He just needs, like we said on the last pod, he just needs to be played correctly. So does Vooch for that matter. But Dre needs to be played correctly in regards to his energy, his enthusiasm, and how erratic he can be. I mean, we were doing the Embrace the Chaos slogan all last season. I do love the chaos a little bit. I have to admit, I do get quite excited and entertained by it. But Billy needs to learn how to say, okay, Dre, you're getting a little bit too high there now. We're going to just sit you for a few minutes or sit you for the rest of the quarter. But he also needs to know how to put him back in. Don't be afraid to put him back in. Okay, so he's gone a little bit wild. Sit him. Let him take his minute. Let him take his breather. But don't be afraid to put him back in again and let it escalate again, maybe. But then pull him again. It's all about those minutes for Dre and how they're going to be controlled and injected into the game at multiple points, because Dre can play basketball. He just forgets sometimes that he plays center and tries to go point guard on it or shooting guard or whatever he tries to do. I don't know, but I do like to say, I do get a bit of a kick out of it once it doesn't start happening over and over and over again. And that's on Billy. That is where he needs to learn how to connect with Dre in that respect and know when to inject him and when to take him and when to put him back in again. And that would really help going forward. Same with Vooch. He needs to learn how to use Vooch a little bit better as well. This is something we've talked about ad nauseum, and it's also something that we've discussed in regards to pulling Vooch back out and pushing Vooch back into the paint. We all know that Billy likes him to be on the outside shooting. Sometimes he has no choice in the matter because the paint gets clogged up with DeMar, and that's where it needs to be looked at. They need to work out a way of using Vooch in the paint, and then when DeMar starts doing his thing, that's when Vooch steps out again. But DeMar needs to be told as well, that's if he's still with us, you need to come back out of the paint and move the ball around so that it goes back into Vooch, and Vooch can either do his little bunnies, or what he's very good at is when the defense starts to collapse towards him a little bit, is kick the ball back out again. The problem we've had in the past, and it's something that we have talked about, and hopefully it's something that gets addressed in the next few days when free agency opens up on Friday, which is, by the way, 5 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. Eastern. And more importantly for our UK listeners, it's 11 p.m. on Friday evening. So hopefully that gets addressed, that being shooting from distance. If those passes come out to somebody who is prepared to shoot, who is able to shoot, it instantly transforms the offense. the problem is the ball comes out, people are reluctant to take the shot, or the ball swings around the outside, or the shots just aren't good enough, and it's a wasted offense. Moving forward, I'd like to see that improve. Hopefully it will improve, and we'll see how it goes moving forward from here. But anyway, that's my take on Vucevic. I like it. It was the only real doable move in my regards, in my opinion, in that regards. I don't think we're going to be getting anything from Matt on it. There's going to be too many different drops of these Bulls blitzes over the next few days as we expect things to develop and unfold. So we might do a bit of a tag team. The next one could come at you from Matt about whatever the next move might be, whether that's Dre or whether it's something else. In the meantime, guys, thanks for listening. We will stay in touch. We will keep providing the content. Don't forget to check out creduk.com, creduk on all the socials. We'll be firing everything out there on Twitter in particular, so do please check that out. And you'll find us, as we always say, on our usual handles. And in the meantime, see red people. Yo!